hotelier's partner. Danica is not here today, so I'm covering for him. I hope my French accent will be acceptable for you guys. I'm going to try my best. For today's video, I'm going to be replying directly to a comment we received on our last video asking if we could dive a little bit into Booking's Genius program. And so here we go.
Reality is often disappointing.
So for those of you starting on page 1, Booking Genius is first and foremost a loyalty program for guests. To qualify, you need to book through Booking.com a lot and cancel very rarely, or so they say. I believe them, personally, kind of, sometimes. The supposed benefit for hoteliers is that it gets you a better class of clients, more exposure, and better business during low season. What's the catch, you ask? Well, it's simple enough. You just got to offer a 10% discount to any Booking Genius client looking to book in your property.
What did he say?
To be clearer than crystal, that's the 10% of the rate you started with before Booking takes a regular 17% bite off the pie. That's 27% of the pie total, so more than a quarter. Can you, in good conscience, say that anyone in the business of taking more than a quarter of any pie has the pie owner's best interest at heart?
No, probably not.
The logic of how it works makes sense in a way. People want a discount, and we look for one where it's given. Therefore, if you agree to give a discount to folks who apparently book a lot and rarely cancel, then the sheer volume of guests you will get thanks to the program will override the loss of you operating on by offering the discount in the first place.
That smells fishy to me.
And it's been around for about a decade, actually 9 years by now. And it's safe to say that there's been some issues that have emerged. And without getting into results, because surprise, surprise, we do not have access to bookings.com data regarding the success or failure of the scheme, from a hotelier's perspective, the fact that the fundamentals of the Genius program can actually work against the independent hotelier in very specific ways if you peek under the cover. Exactly as it says on the tin. The scheme promotes loyalty to Booking.com and not you, or for that matter, anyone who signs up for it. The Genius guests care about one thing, their discount, and so because there is no shortage of people to fill up your rooms at a 10% discount, you leave quite a bit of money on the table in the end.
That's my money!
Also, by offering a perpetual discount to an unknown quantity of people on all of your rooms all of the time, you frankly whack yourself right in the goalies when it comes to direct bookings on your website. What's that now? All your rooms? All the time? You sign your entire property up, not a select quantity of your inventory. Look closely at that fact. Think about it. You can't choose when, what, or how. It's a few steps short of handing the keys to your hotel over to Booking.com altogether. It relegates the notion of adopting a pricing strategy into relative meaninglessness. For a French guy, saying meaninglessness without making a mistake is quite an accomplishment. So, what's the point of a pricing strategy? You could try to think ahead and see which types of rooms geniuses typically take, and then aim for best available rates on some of your swankier rooms via your website. But guess what? If a genius client wants those, they can get them too at the same discount. So you end up playing tennis back and forth between your website prices and your booking rate based on the genius prices, in the hope of catching a reservation you don't have to pay for. The logical end to playing a game like that is you end up lowering your average rate against your better judgment.
Well, that's not good.
The idea of this scheme, one of the central tenets, is to make hoteliers completely dependent on Booking, and it works. Surf the Booking partner forums and you'll see hoteliers after hoteliers saying they're happy, they're full, but now they can't really afford to get off Booking Genius, and they're confronting the kinds of issues that the Genius program specifically says it will help you avoid.
What?
The promise of a high-end kind of client in one hotelier seems to come up against regularly. I've read comments from more than a couple of hoteliers that reported that the geniuses in question did not know they were in fact geniuses. And were just as likely to cancel as any guest.
It looks like a warning.
Regarding ranking, check and see. as often as not, you'll have non-genius properties ranking above genius properties. I actually saw that with my own hotel in France back then. The one promise that they can't seem to deliver on, however, is to fill up your hotel or your property during low season. But one just has to ask, with 27% of my pie bidden off, is it really worth it? The fact is, there are cheaper ways to get yourself a whole pie. Ways where you get to keep the whole thing and remain in control of your business, getting the kind of guests that actually want to stay at your property instead of those who want to stay anywhere as long as they get a 10% discount. I mean, we talk a lot about heap of these ways over at the Hotel Club, so go and check it out, thehotelclub.com. There is e-learning courses to help you figure all of this out and actually apply it in real life. So, like this video, share, head over to the Hotel Club, and Taneka should be back very soon.